What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another player ratings video. Tottenham went out to Austria and drew 3-3 with LASK Linz in a game where it wasn't one for the. It wasn't a spectacle, even though it was 3-3. It just wasn't a spectacle. We didn't play well. LASK played very well. You got to say that, but. There's no reason to be too downhearted because we're through and it's job done at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Europa League group phase games, you kind of just, they come and go, don't they? You don't really remember them too well. They've had so many Europa League group phase games throughout the years as a Tottenham fan, and they don't have that much importance. So look, we're through. That's the main thing, but it wasn't the best game or performance from Tottenham.
I mean, it was slightly important because we needed to get the job done and qualify tonight, and that's exactly what we did. Jose wasn't happy, and we'll get into why he wasn't happy right now. And let's start off with Joe Hart. We get a 3. Shocking, to be honest, the two goals at the end, LASK's last 2 goals. First one, he tries and saves it with his forearm and it bounces off his forearm into the goal. The second one, what can you say? It was actually the first 2 goals. Sorry, not the last 2 goals. But
first 2.
What can you say about Joe Hart? He keeps getting beaten from range.
It's a common theme. Haifa beaten from range. What was the other one? Skendia beaten from range. 3 times tonight beaten from range. That's 5.
Was he playing at Antwerp?
No, Lloris, but that wasn't from range anyway. But that's 5 goals this year. We're still fairly early on in the season. That's 5 goals from range he's been beaten.
But how many of those were actually his fault? Probably only the 2 today.
Look, they're good goals, but keepers have to be when those kind of strikes come in. Look. Yeah, it's harsh. It's
hard because the Skendia one and the Haifa one were 2 unbelievable shots that nobody's getting them.
Well, you never know who gets them or not, but there's clearly a weakness from range for Joe Hart for me.
Yeah.
There's clearly a weakness, and especially we've heard it before when he was at Torino that he's got a weakness to his left-hand side, and it's come to the fore again. I think for sure he's definitely got a weakness on his left-hand side. But for that second goal, that was absolutely horrendous goalkeeping. It wasn't even a great shot. It was like nearly straight at him, and he somehow, I don't know why he goes with his forearm to save it or just hits his forearm because it wasn't that powerful. And for me as well, that first goal, dipping shot into the far corner, but it goes under his arm.
Third goal, I don't think he had much of a chance with. Third goal, he was diving to the left. He stretched out completely, and he was nowhere near it.
Third goal was a better strike, the best strike of the lot. However, it wasn't right in the corner, and I think Lloris would have had a decent chance of saving that. But I'm not going to put too much blame from him on the third goal because it was a good strike. But the other 2, he has to be stopping that. And I've been pretty happy with Joe Hart ever since he's come to Spurs. And even in this game, in the first half, he was playing really well.
He made some nice saves.
He was playing really well, keeping us in the game at times. But this is the first I'm seeing proper alarm bells about, okay, is he actually this Joe Hart that we've been seeing for the past 3 years at West Ham and Burnley and Torino?
And you got to say those 2 mistakes show that he is. No 2 ways about it.
Yeah. It's hard to argue that.
There is no kind of question in my mind that Gazzaniga is a better keeper than Joe Hart.
Yeah, I agree.
Genuinely no question in my mind, and it's just such a shame that Gazzaniga misses out just because Joe Hart's English. That is the only reason he's in the squad, because he's English.
You can know what Mourinho would say because of mentality and all this stuff, but definitely not because of his goalkeeping, I can tell you that.
But anyway,
next one.
Let's move on to Matt Doherty. We gave him a 4. I just didn't see enough from him today whatsoever. You can see on the stats there, it actually looks quite in his favour. 8 duels, 1 out of 14, 2 tackles, 1 out of 3, 3 aerial duels, 1 out of 4. But I just felt that he just kept making the wrong decisions in the game. I don't think he was strong enough. And in a game against LASK, you expect him to like go forward and make a go of it, and he just didn't do that.
He seemed to pick up a knock late in the first half, didn't he? He hobbled off and came out for the second half all right, but wasn't a great game for Matt Doherty yet again. Showing why Aurier is in the team in the Premier League games at the moment. And we said at the time it was harsh on Aurier to drop him. And we're seeing now that I think it was the wrong decision. I think he should have kept his place. And Doherty really hasn't pulled up any trees now. It's now long enough to say, in terms of when he first came, it was like, fitness and all these things, you have to get up to speed. He's been here a while now. He's played quite a few games.
I would say that I think that's a bit harsh on Doherty. I think that his defensive play has been pretty good for Tottenham, and I think it has been growing game on game.
I'm not saying we've seen it. I'm not saying we've seen enough that I'm ruling him out. I'm saying we've seen enough that he's getting acclimatized to the team and everything in his new role. And I think we're seeing now that his role at Wolves at right wing back, he was afforded a lot more freedom, and that's why he was getting forward so much and getting those positions. And right now, we're seeing that he's kind of struggling in terms of going forward to really get in those positions he was getting in for Wolves. And when he does get into the positions on the right-hand side to put crosses in, he doesn't have the quality Aurier does. And that's the reality of the situation at the moment. He's not as aggressive and physical as Aurier
he's not getting in those positions to cross the ball.
He does, but less frequently than Aurier. A lot less frequently. Aurier's there a lot. Aurier's faster. Doherty
He's
maybe
nowhere near
argues,
as physical either.
Yeah, I think I would say Aurier is more aggressive and physical, but in terms of actual strength and height and stuff, I think Doherty might win out on those. But at the moment, look, Aurier, I can't think of an attribute right now where Aurier's inferior at the moment, from what I can see. Maybe you could say positioning and whatnot. We'll have to look. We have to wait and see.
Maybe his aerial ability. That's probably about it.
But even that, Aurier's been winning a lot of headers in the past few games. I still
think that's probably the strongest part of his game that he's shown at Spurs.
He's taller. He is taller than Aurier. But at the moment, Aurier deserves to be playing, and I think Doherty struggled. Against a team like LASK, you expect him to kind of try and dominate that right-hand side and not let try and get forward as much as possible. He wasn't doing that. I don't know whether he's under instruction or not. Remains to be seen. But look, I haven't been overly impressed with Doherty since he's come. I still think he's not a bad right back, and he's decent for second choice to Aurier. And it's not like I have any qualms about putting him in because we've kept clean sheets with him in the team and stuff. But at the moment, Aurier is far superior. You've got to say.
I don't think he's not a detriment to the team, Doherty. No. He just doesn't help going forward like he did get for Wolves, and that's the kind of thing we're comparing it to. That's what it is.
We brought him in as one of the best attacking right backs in the league, and we're seeing now in a back four. He's definitely less effective. There's no two ways about it. He's definitely less effective.
All right, let's move on to Davinson Sanchez. We gave him a 4. Again, I'm starting to kind of really lose my patience with Davinson Sanchez. I mean, you can see the stats there in terms of tackles 1, duels 1, and aerials 1. Pretty good from Davinson. Passing completion, not that great, it's 75%. But you've got to say, he just switches off in games. He just absolutely switches off. I think for all 3 goals, well, maybe not the first one, but for the last 2, he just completely switched off. His man lost and goal, and he lets the player take the shot on.
I don't understand it. We brought on Dyer to shore things up and make it into a back 3, yet they somehow get a 1-on-1 nearly, or get through. I don't know how they're getting through. It's all because Sanchez just wasn't looking at his man, and he just allows him through on goal. Yes, Hart made an awful mistake, and on another day, if Lloris was in goal, he makes a save, and we don't talk about it. But the fact of the matter is, the goal went in, and Sanchez had to do a lot better there. 3rd goal, he doesn't close him down. He just waits for him to shoot. I don't understand. We have so many men around him that if he closes him down, there's nowhere for him to go. If he tries to dribble, he's getting tackled. Yeah. So I don't understand why he doesn't. He just kind of waits for the shot. And look, it was a good quality shot, and maybe he didn't expect such good quality from a team like LASK. But at the end of the day, you can't, at this level, you can't let teams have time and space around the box like that. And it was a great goal. And look, Sanchez is not in the team in the Premier League at the moment, and we're seeing why with his Europa League performances.
At the end of the day, there were some good moments in there from Davinson. There were some good defensive moments, some last-ditch blocks, some good tackles in there. But it's these moments when he switches off and we concede because of his errors. I mean, it happens time and time again, and that's the issue with Davinson.
He's error-prone. You got to say it now. He's error-prone, and his quality on the ball hasn't improved. Mm-hmm. It's still the same, and he's making more and more errors off it. So it's not looking good for Davinson at the moment. I got to say that it's not looking good. And
you've got to say, Rodon's ahead of him now. Maybe even Tanganga's ahead of him now with the performances he's put in the last 2 games. And let's move on to Japhet Tanganga. We gave him a 7. I thought maybe 7 was a bit too generous for him. Maybe 6.5 is more kind of suited to Japhet for this game. But I thought he was probably our best defender on the night. I think he's quick, he's strong, he puts himself about, and he doesn't let the defenders have space, which is the main thing.
I thought he was our most, he's aggressive, the most accomplished defender on the night. Although I did think the rest of the back 5 were awful. Yeah, I think he did all right. I think he did a decent job. Is he ahead of Davidson? We'll have to wait and see what Mourinho thinks about that. I'm not too sure just yet, but I think he did all right. It was another good performance from him because you got to remember he's still young. He still hasn't made too many performances for Spurs, so each performance he's got to build on it. And I think last couple of Europa League games he's played okay. But we have conceded 3 goals tonight, so he can't get too much credit. But look, I think he did all right. I think he did okay.
All right, let's move on to Ben Davies. We gave him a 4.
Yeah.
Again, poor performance from Ben Davies. I really can't, you saw in the other Europa League games, he actually puts in good performances, but this one was way off the mark. He needs to be doing more going forward. He needs to be doing more at the back defensively. I don't know what to say anymore.
It was painfully average from Ben. It just was. There's no, you can't say anything else. He was really average tonight. Every time he got the ball, he was like, look, sometimes it comes off from him. He looks for these long balls over the top, and sometimes they're really accurate. Tonight they were all just off it. Off it. None of them went to a man. He was playing balls down the line. They were going out of play for throw-ins and stuff. Like his on-the-ball quality, sometimes it's decent, but tonight it was really poor. And defensively, it wasn't terrible, but in terms of his offensive play and his play on the ball, I was really disappointed with Ben Davies.
I just thought he was a bit disappointing in all areas.
Didn't even get forward.
All areas of the pitch tonight. I thought it was a bit disappointing. But anyway, let's move on to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. We gave him a 7. Let's talk about some positives now, because Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, week on week, is so imperative to the team. The job he does there in the middle of the park, fighting for every ball. I mean, it's so hard for us to play without the guy.
And that's what Mourinho said after the game.
But it's so true. Mourinho
said he is fundamental to the team.
He is.
He has to play in every circumstance.
It's true.
And it's true. And first of all, it shows the quality of Højbjerg, but it's also a bit of a worry that Mourinho thinks that he has to play every game. So I'm worried if he does play every game, he might get a bit burnt out. But look, I thought, he was the one midfielder in there who was really sticking a boot in.
So combative. He's so good. He's so good. And the mentality he has is just head and shoulders above anyone.
Yeah, I thought he turned up, and I thought it was a good display by Højbjerg. Wasn't his best, but I thought he did well, better than anyone else.
All right, let's move on to Giovanni Lo Celso. We gave him a 4. Yeah. I was expecting big things from Gio tonight. I really expected him to take a claim to that position in the centre mid. Everyone was so excited to see that Tanguy and Lo Celso partnership in the middle of the park, and it just didn't come off, did it? Lo Celso was very poor. I thought most of the time he got the ball, he was losing it in the middle of the park. I can't remember too many times where he got the ball, took on his man and made stuff happen. And that's what we know about Lo Celso, and that's what we know he does. I don't think he was aggressive enough either. And that's what it was with Giovanni.
Yeah, it was
8 recoveries though, that's good.
He looked off the pace. He did look a bit off the pace. When we started that midfield of Højbjerg, Ndombele and Lo Celso, everyone got excited. Everyone thought we were going to be in for a masterclass. Didn't really turn out like that. He pretty much had one moment throughout the game, which was playing Bale for on goal, who obviously ended up missing the chance. But I thought Lo Celso definitely has to do better. He didn't play well when he came on against Chelsea, and yesterday hasn't had a good game in that midfield. He played a bit of a deeper role. I thought with Ndombele and Lo Celso both, I thought he was the one going to be a bit further forward and Ndombele a bit further back. It didn't turn out like that. Mourinho decided to do it the other way around. But I think, look, I'm sure there's more to come from Lo Celso, obviously, but I'm just a bit disappointed that he didn't put in a game.
There's 100% more to come. But when you look at Giovanni Lo Celso last season, you didn't think he could have a bad game.
Literally. Consistent.
He was so consistent, so good. Best player on the park pretty much every game he played last season.
Past February.
Yeah. And then you look at this season, the season just hasn't kicked off for him yet, has it?
Not quite. When he got those couple goals against Haifa, I thought, okay, he's getting in more positions. He's getting goals. Injured again. Then he got injured. He's come back from injury again. And, he scored against City. And I was like, okay, looking good again. But look, he hasn't hit the heights. He's not starting Premier League games consistently yet. I'm convinced he'll get to that stage at some point. He's just not there yet, and it's we're disappointed because we know how good Lo Celso can be. Yeah. But it was a disappointing performance from him.
Let's move on to Tanguy Ndombele. We gave him a 7, much better than Giovanni Lo Celso. I got to say that. I thought in the first half, in the middle of the park, he was really good, showing Kind of a similar performance against Chelsea, to be honest. The way he got the ball in the middle of the park, dancing around their players. But I don't think it was as good as it was against Chelsea. But it was a similar performance, if you know what I mean. I thought that he did get the ball in really nice positions in the middle of the park and dancing his way around their midfield like he always does. Assist for Sonny's goal. Lovely ball into Sonny. Pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah.
He got fouled for the first penalty as well. So
no, it was a handball. He shot.
Oh, so he shot and it was a handball. So it comes from his movement as well. So he had a hand in 2 of our 3 goals. So you got to say, all in all, it was a good performance. But we know Tongi can be better than that.
Yeah, carried on his good performances. I thought best midfielder out of the 3. I thought he, again, was positive, looking forward. He's not afraid to beat a man, just as we know Tongi is. Great, as you said, great ball for Son for the through ball, though it was a mistake which led to it. So he didn't have to work too hard to get that position, if you know what I mean. But yeah, really positive again by Tongi, and he has to start Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, he was beating men all of the first half and the first 10 minutes of the second half, but his quality after he's beating these men wasn't top notch.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't as good as it has been. But look, I think he's probably one of our best player. Probably our best player, to be honest, in total. So good play by him, I think. Let's
move on to Lucas Moura. We gave him a 3. I literally cannot remember one thing that Lucas Moura did the whole game. You know, he ran his heart out as he always does, but he literally did nothing. Look at the stat: 0, 0, 0,
How many
0,
times have you seen that with Lucas Moura, though?
He
just has these games, doesn't he? He just has them where he's just completely anonymous. This is what frustrates you so much about Lucas, because he's so fast, he's so good at dribbling, he's so effective and dangerous that when he doesn't have it's so noticeable when he has those games where he just does nothing, because he has so much to give, and it's really frustrating. And I think this is why he's at Tottenham instead of still being at PSG, because if he was consistent, he would still be at PSG. That's the fact of the matter. We're seeing it. We are seeing it. We're still waiting. We've waited 2.5 years now. However, when did we sign him? January 2018. Yeah. So 2 years.
We've waited 2 years for those consistent performances. They
haven't come. They just haven't
come. We know on the one-off game what he can produce, every 3 or 4 games. You know what I mean? But he doesn't do it every game, week in, week out. But look, you can't say nothing. Well, you can. But Lucas Moura is a good player. We all know that.
Not consistently.
Yeah, that's it.
But the thing is, he does sometimes in big games. He does kind of turn up, which is great. Arsenal, Ajax, and all these things. But it's these games, Europa League away.
Well, you say that, but he's scored 3 or 4 in a row in the Europa League.
Has he scored away?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Don't think so. Did he score unless he scored at Ludogorets away when we won 3-1? I'm not sure if he did. He might have. I think he did. But look, I don't know. It's just frustrating when Lucas puts in his performances, because I know even yesterday, he was probably good defensively, tracking back. He always does. He's very hard worker for the team. That's why Mourinho loves him. But when you have the quality of Lucas Moura, it's like a crime that you don't show it every game. It really is, because he has that much quality, and it's so frustrating.
All right, let's move on to Gareth Bale. We gave him a 5. How do you assess this performance? Because I thought there were good things and bad things in there from Gareth Bale.
He grew into the game, didn't he?
Yeah.
He seemed to get better as the game went on.
Yeah, first half, I thought nothing was coming off him whatsoever. No. Every time he got the ball, it bounced off him, or it was a bad pass, or what have you. There were a few moments where he won the ball back in the middle of the park, some nice challenges. But from the Gareth Bale that we all love and know, there was nothing really there in the first half.
Scored a penalty there.
He scored a penalty. Good.
Sent to keep the wrong way.
Good on him for that. But second half, I thought he gradually was growing into it. There was that moment, obviously, where he squared it to Son, which was a poor pass, where he could have either shot or played a good pass. You do one of the two. Don't do what he did. But I would say that as the second half wore on, he was growing into it slightly. I actually felt he was getting sharper and sharper as the game was going on. But you got to say, if anyone else is putting in these performances, you're probably going to kind of beat them down for it, especially if it's someone like Dele Alli.
I disagree. I don't think he was bad where you would criticize someone like Dele Alli for playing like he did, because I think
not even in the first half.
Yeah, maybe in the first half. But I thought he did play really well in the second half. Not really well, but he played well. I thought he did play well. And I thought he was playing some really nice balls over the top to Son, who either was just offside or...
He played better in the second half. Yeah, I don't know if it was great.
I wouldn't say if Dele Alli put in a performance like Bale did, I'd be criticising him that much. I don't think I would.
If Dele Alli put in that first half performance, he would have been taken off at half time.
Maybe. Maybe. He had a few nice moments in the corner where he was dribbling past a couple of players and he did all right. Yeah, first half, look, no doubt about it. He was pretty bad. Like most of the team. But he was exceptionally pretty bad. He also, defensively, he was losing his men a few times. But I did think he improved a lot in the second half.
He did. And I said his sharpness seemed to improve as the game was going on. And actually, when he got taken off, it seemed like he was going through his best moment in the game. It's just a shame, actually, he got taken off.
I still think the improvements are small, but they're getting there. The more games that go on, and the longer that he's not like explosive as he was, people are going to start to question it. But I still believe that we've got a quality player there, and at the moment we're in a decent position because we've still got Lucas and Bergwijn, and when Lamella's here we have Lamella. So it's not like he's essential to the team, but he's just going to be a nice bonus when he does get to those levels. That's what people.
I back him to create positive impact this season, and we're just not seeing it just yet.
I know, but people think we're relying on Bale getting back to his best, and we're not.
No, we're not.
We're not. But people think we are, so they think, oh, Bale's not going to get back to his best. So what are you going to do? It's like, we're all right. You know what I mean? If Bale does get back to his best, then that's amazing. If he doesn't, we're still all right.
Let's move on to Heung-min Son, the last of the first 11. We gave him a 7. 1 shot, 1 goal. Absolutely clinical Heung-min Son. Took it really well. Lovely through ball from Tanguy Ndombele, and Son slotted it like we know he does. Apart from that, was there much in it else from Sonny?
Didn't do much, did he? I think him playing up front in this kind of game didn't suit him because we were playing a lot of long balls.
Especially that first half. They were playing it over the top to him every time, and he was never going to win it.
Wasn't just in terms of they were playing it to his head for flick-ons and stuff, and for him to hold the ball up. If they were playing it over the top in behind, that wouldn't have been such a problem, but they weren't. Well, they did a few times, but they weren't finding Son, and they would play as like Davis's passing was a bit off and stuff like that. I think he personally he did okay for himself, but in terms of the team dynamics, I don't think him being up front worked that well. And we needed someone more physical. That's why I thought maybe put Bale up top and maybe Son on the wing. That might have worked a bit better. But look, he did get a goal. He was there at the right place at the right time to get it. And also, if it wasn't for a poor pass from Bale, he would have got 2. Yeah. So from that point of view, he did his job. And I think, obviously, look, Son is Son. He's playing on Sunday, and he's never going to be dropped, is he? So that's it.
Let's move on to substitutes. Moussa Sissoko, we gave him a 5. He came on with around half an hour to go. Who was it for? For Tanguy Ndombele, was it? Sissoko as well. I thought he was pretty poor when he came on. He was trying to put himself about, but again, the ball was bouncing off him, poor passes. And not too great for Moussa.
Moussa Sissoko. I can't think of too many bad things about him.
Just poor touches and poor passes, really.
Yeah, that's what you get from Moussa, though. You know what I mean? That's Moussa Sissoko. I think his defensive work was pretty decent. I think he was helping out at the back. But yeah, look, Sissoko. He's a limited player. That's what you get with him. I'm pretty sure after the way Ndombele, Lo Celso and Højbjerg played together, I'm pretty sure he starts next game.
Yeah, 100%. Let's move on to Steven Bergwijn. We gave him a 7. I actually thought Stevie B was really good when he came on. He showed intent. He was aggressive. He was trying to win the ball. He won the ball a few times in good areas of the pitch. He was direct as well with his direct runs. And also he won the penalty as well right at the end.
Yeah, did really well there. He was looking a lot more threatening than Luke. Did more than Lucas Moura did in the minutes he was on the pitch. And I thought he looked sharp again. He looks a bit more confident. Did win the penalty really well. And I think it was another decent cameo from Stevie.
Yeah, Eric Dyer come on. We gave him a 5. The thing I want to mark for Eric Dyer is he came on to make it more solid at the back, like you mentioned when we were talking about Sanchez, and we conceded.
Yeah, I don't know. He wasn't great, Dyer, to be honest. I thought when he came in the back 3, he was in the middle of the back 3 in between Tanganga and Sanchez. Maybe it's because, they're not used to playing like that, or he had inexperience. Or I don't know. I don't know what the problem was, but I don't think he was awful, but something wasn't working when he was on the pitch.
You expect us to be more solid when he come on.
I think Mourinho probably made a mistake putting the back. I think if he has the time back now, I don't think he makes a back 3, because I think we were doing okay. We were 2-1 up with half an hour to go. Especially in the second half, we hadn't conceded many chances before the back 3, and I know he put him on to shore things up, but it didn't work. And I think he was probably better off taking off Højbjerg and putting Winks on and bringing some more energy instead of going to a back 3. But Maybe Winks should be worried that he didn't trust him enough to come on.
Serge Aurier and Dele Alli both came on with 8 minutes to go. Let's talk about Dele Alli. Obviously, he got the goal, penalty.
Yep.
Didn't really see much else from him, did we, in 8 minutes?
He had a few nice breakaways, but unfortunately for him, once he came on, the front three was Dele, Aurier and Bergwijn, and it's tough to really create much from especially when
Aurier did quite well.
And he went into a number 9 position as well, Dele. It's not really his true position. So I thought he did all right, actually, when he came on, Dele. He looked a bit confident, and he had a few nice moments, but yeah, it wasn't his forte, is it?
And Serge, I thought, did really well when he came on, attacking that right-hand side, beat a few men.
Yeah.
He only had 8 minutes, so he did fairly well for what the time he had.
For him, for 8 minutes as a right winger, he did a decent job.
Yeah. And someone said in the comments he's better at number 11 than who was it? Lucas Moura.
Yeah, he probably was better than Moura, to be honest. That's definitely true.
All right, and Jose Mourinho, you can't complain with the lineup he played today. No. The lineup was there to win the game, and it should have won the game. For what I want to mark Mourinho down, probably in-game changes. Didn't really work to our favour, did it?
I agree. I don't think his changes worked. Usually we praise him for his changes, but this time his changes kind of had a detrimental effect, I feel. We conceded 2 goals after he made those changes. We only conceded 1 before. We didn't play well tonight, but you got to say that he definitely put a lineup out to show that we're taking this very seriously.
Everyone wanted to see the Ndombele and Lo Celso. Everyone wants to see Gareth Bale. Heung-min Son was playing.
Exactly.
Højbjerg was playing.
So look,
there was no excuses today not to win.
He had the lineup, and I can't complain about that too much. But yeah, I'd say his changes were bad. But what do you make of his comments after the game, saying he knows that some players in his squad are not motivated to play in the Europa League group stages?
It looked like that on the pitch. I think he's completely spot on.
Who do you think he's talking about?
Well, off the list, I'll tell you who I think he's talking about. I think he's talking about Lo Celso, Lucas. It looked like he was talking about Davis, Sanchez, Doherty, Hart. I mean, all these players had poor performances. Dyer, maybe.
Yeah, but there's
Sissoko.
a difference between poor performance and he's saying they lacked motivation. But who do you think he's saying someone in particular who lacked motivation in the Europa League group phase?
Could be Lo Celso. Maybe Lo Celso, because I don't think Lo Celso looked too on it today in terms of kind of anything. I thought Lo Celso was really poor today, and it was really out of character from Lo Celso, that performance. Maybe Eric Dyer when he came on, because he was pretty poor. You didn't see that commanding rock at the back that we've seen all season.
Maybe.
It could have been those two. I don't want to say... probably not Davis, because Davis is a...
Bale?
Nah, I don't think so. I thought Bale was kind of getting better and better as the game went on. I don't think there was anything wrong with Bale's attitude today.
I agree. But maybe he's talking about Lucas. Maybe he's talking about someone like Lucas who thinks he's better than you. I don't know. It's interesting comments.
Could definitely be one.
It's interesting comments. Interesting comments from Jose. And I do wonder
what do you
who
make
he's.
out of them?
I think we've seen a few times. Antwerp. Antwerp away, and obviously tonight, the couple performances in the qualifying that maybe they have been taking. Yeah, maybe we have been taking a few of the games a bit lightly.
But that's not just like a new thing. This happens all the time with every team in the Europa League group stage.
Yeah, you could argue that. Yeah, it's probably true. But he said people like Højbjerg and Son. He said doesn't matter what game they're playing, doesn't matter who they're playing against and whatnot. They give the same level of performance, and not all those players in the squad are the same. And he said he had this problem at Man United, and that's why he got such inconsistent results. But hopefully,
you can kind of see who he was talking about with the player ratings. We've got Lo Celso was poor, Lucas was poor, potentially Sanchez, but maybe I don't know if it was Sanchez, because Sanchez needs to grab every minute he can at the moment, no matter who it's against.
Agreed.
So,
I don't know. Look, I don't know if he's definitely just talking about people who played bad, or he's... I don't know. But, yeah, look, it wasn't the best display. Look, they still got the job done. And hopefully it doesn't affect anything going into the game on Sunday. And I think we should be as confident as we can be. And despite not getting the win, I think we go into Sunday with full confidence.
All right, so there you have it. That is our player ratings for the 3-3 draw out in LASK. We have qualified to the next round of the Europa League. We have a North London derby to play this weekend as Arsenal come to White Hart Lane, to the Tottenham Stadium for a nice big beating. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of our ratings. If you think we got it wrong, let me know your ratings in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.